even before the president relaxes the COVID-19 measures to curb its spread, politicians have already moved with speed, campaigning around, setting ground before the 2022 elections. We have a lot in line for you, and here are our top stories.
And we said that Kenya is much more than just hustler nation.
Deputy President William Ruto castigated by Raila Odinga for using youth empowerment as his 2022 political strategy as he rubbished his hustler tagline. A 40-year-old man has been beaten to death by angry residents after he was allegedly accused of having killed a 70-year-old man.
The regime in the White House has no option just to respect the international regulations and norms.
Iranian government has called on the rest of the world to unite against the United States following international sanctions on Iran. A very good evening to you. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Michael Maithia. Also stand by to bring you sports news is Cedric Oronje. Remember, you can tell us where you're watching from and your feedback about our stories this evening without forgetting your name on our SMS line of 111 444 111. Again, it's 111 444 111. And now, today, the Deputy President was at AIC Church in Ziwani, where he has asked politicians to be mindful of Kenya's welfare before politicking. On the other hand, ODM leader Raila Odinga has castigated the Deputy President for using youth empowerment as his 2022 political tool. Clifford Ndubi with more.
We announce right here, we announce the beginning of the Luo Revolution.
The hustler political game seems to be a perception that politicians are using to woo voters. Deputy President William Ruto today pitching camp in Ziwani Estate, Eastleigh Kamkunji constituency, as he condemned those prioritizing politics over the welfare of Kenyans. A section of youth leaders backing the DP. On the other hand, Raila has rubbished claims that no one was born as a dynasty.
Kwa sababu sasa tumekubaliana sisi ni wamoja. Na asilimia kubwa ya Wakenya ni hii hustler nation.
Sasa nasikia mnaongea kwa mambo ya mawheelbarrow. Hizo wheelbarrow si tunazihitaji. Wewe kama uko na pesa mingi, haujai tuletea chakula, haujai tununulia wheelbarrow, wewe hiyo pesa yako ukae nayo na wadosi wenzako.
After weeks that saw his allies face the law over allegations of fanning hatred, Deputy President William Ruto has said that Kenya belongs to all. Odinga, on the other hand, has told the DP to focus on service delivery.
Mambo ya kusema ati sisi hustler. Uhuru is the exception.
Sasa wamejua ya kwamba dunia hii ni ya mahasla. Wakuje polepole, wawache matusi, wawache madharau, waheshimu biashara ya kila mtu.
Raila, however, says that Ruto's tagline of hustler does not hold any waters and that Kenya needs a change of leadership for a better country.
That we can realize the Kenyan dream by changing course, changing how we do our things, so that we can be able to create more wealth in our country.
Recently, politicians have been rolling up their sleeves, knocking every door that would possibly give them an edge over their competitors ahead of the 2022 general elections. Clifford Ndubi, Switch TV.
Elsewhere, Kisauni Member of Parliament Ali Mbogo says that time has come for Wiper to be the party of choice for Mombasa and the Coast region. As Kennedy Kimani reports, Mbogo insists that the move will help bring the much-deserved change and development in the coastal area. Take a look.
Addressing the media during a delegates meeting in Mombasa, Kisauni Member of Parliament Ali Mbogo reiterated that Wiper Party has the potential to transform the region and offer people their share of development after what he termed as failed promises by the region's dominant party, ODM.
Sababu hatuwezi kubeba Mombasa kuwe tuwe na governor na nisiwe na wanajeshi wangu pale. So ni lazima tuhakikishe katika ward 30 za Mombasa hii at least 75 to 80% ya hizo ward tutakuwa tumebeba kama Wiper Party.
The Wiper National Executive Council member Mohamed Zakir claims that regional leaders have sold the electorate and that Mombasa has very little to boast about in terms of development compared to towns like Nairobi, which are growing, blaming ODM for being unfair to the people of Mombasa.
Wiper, as we see our new slogan, Kazi Kazi Bila Uwizi. So we'll strengthen our party and we'll make sure governor, senator, all 6 MPs, ward MCAs will win the maximum.
Sheikh Twaha, the National Secretary for Religious Affairs, says that Wiper Party will be fielding a candidate in Msambweni by-election. The seat fell vacant following the death of MP Suleiman Dori on the 9th of March this year.
2022, Mungu akipenda, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka ndiyo presidential candidate wetu na tuna imani na yeye vile alivyo.
The Wiper NEC members expressed optimism that they will be successful in the 2022 general elections and the upcoming by-election in Msambweni next month. Kennedy Kimani, Switch TV.
Meanwhile, the Mulembe Nation is advocating for the Luhya unity as they also called upon their leaders to be mindful of the ODM leader Raila Odinga as they approach the 2022 general elections. Andrew Kero filed the report.
Speaking in Shitirila village at Malava constituency at the funeral of Priscilla Njendi, in-law to Malava MP Malulu Njendi, Western leaders led by Malulu, Dan Wanyama, Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala, and former Kakamega Senator Dr. Boni Khalwale, affirmed that it's time for Luhya leaders to joining hands, give the community a direction ahead of 2022 poll.
Na mimi niende kule mbinguni, alafu malaika nione wananionyesha enda njia hii. Na kwa mbali nione Raila hapo pande ile, nitawaambia hapana, hiyo ni wrong side. Mimi lazima nikuwe tu upande mwingine. Kama uko hapa na akili yako bado inaangalia huko kwa maji, nataka kukuambia uombe Mungu akuonyeshe ni nini unafuata wewe.
The leaders say that they are suspicious of last week's meeting of ODM party representatives at Kakamega County in Kisumu, where they claim 12 million shillings were used. However, Senator Malala has promised to do auditing in respect to the claims.
MCA moja unaitwa kwa mkutano ya siku moja unapata shilingi 1,200. Na hao watu hawana hata shilingi kwa mifuko zao. Na mimi kama senator nimesema hiyo mkutano mpaka niende ni audit kwa sababu mlitumia 12 million mkutano ya masaa mawili. Hiyo ni wizi.
The majority whip in the National Assembly, Emmanuel Wangwe, however insists that there is need to raise the issue of constitutional amendments even as he applauded the Senate for finally settling the controversial revenue allocation formula. Andrew Kero, Switch TV.
Away from that and now on matters health, Kenya's COVID-19 curve continues to flatten with 152 cases from a sample size of 2,224 within the last 24 hours. The country continues to maintain the decline with less than 200 cases being recorded within the last 3 weeks. 110 patients have been discharged after recovering from COVID-19, raising recoveries to 23,887. 2 patients have, however, succumbed to the disease, bringing the total fatality to 648. And now let's focus on this story where angry residents in Kapso village, Aldai constituency in Nandi County invaded a house of a 40-year-old man by the name Henry Kipchumba and beat him to death. The man was allegedly accused of having killed a 70-year-old man at his home by slashing him with a panga. And now let's get the story by Fatma Ngwena.
Angry residents from Kapso village in Nandi County invaded a house of a 40-year-old man, Henry Kipchumba, an alleged killer of a 70-year-old Jairus Ruto at his home. Ruth Song, who is the granddaughter of the deceased old man, said her grandfather, Jairus Ruto, opted to take his supper from outside the house, and before she served him, a stranger came and struck him with a machete.
Kutoka nje nilifika kama ameanguka na amekatwa shingo. Nilipoona alikuwa amekatwa shingo, niliona mtu alikuwa anasimama na alikuwa ameshika panga mkononi mwake.
According to the neighbors, Jairus Ruto passed on shortly after the incident. The angry residents went around searching for the alleged killer before killing him.
Hapo tulikasirika sana. huyu mtu alikuwa wild, alikuwa ni mnyama kweli kweli, sababu alipambana na watu hata mpaka akakata mwingine tena ambaye alikuwa anakimbia naye, tumtafute pamoja.
Nicholas Bor is the area chief.
Mtu wa security singeweza control hiyo umati na watu waliweza kumuua.
The two bodies have been taken to Kapsabet Referral Hospital morgue. Fatma Ngwena, Switch TV.
Elsewhere, Nakuru governor has accused senior government officials and a foreign contractor of oppressing and frustrating residents of Mahimahio in the ongoing construction of the new meter gauge railway line. According to Kinyanjui, the county is ready to stop works on the 24 kilometers extension from Mahimahio to Longnot as local youths and traders have been locked out. Daniel Karaoke tells us more.
This comes barely a week after residents stopped workers from the Channel Road and Bridge Corporation CRBC from undertaking the project, demanding employment opportunities.
So reli kama hii inamalizika at 98 billion shillings, lakini baada ya kumalizika mchaina atarudi kwao. Sisi tunabaki na deni.
Addressing residents of Mahimahio, Governor Lee Kinyanjui lashed out at the contractor, noting that he was not doing the country a favor. He further noted that senior government officers were protecting the contractor, who had ignored area leaders and youths in the ongoing 3.5 billion project.
To just make sure that the local contractors get their share. Hii inafanywa hapa ya nearly 10 billion shillings, ambao wana extend hapa. It is not a gift from China. It is a loan from China.
Kinyanjui has, however, issued a 2-week ultimatum to the contractor to address the grievances of the residents, or else he will take appropriate action.
Na hata hapa na mchana hiyo area yote mimi nilitembea juzi. Hakuna any sign of any economic activity. Watoto hata wanaenda na slippers, nguo imeraruka. And the government has spent 98 billion shillings.
According to the governor and county officials, there are plenty of graduates who are ready to do all manner of casual jobs, but the Chinese contractor is hearing none of it. Daniel Karaoke for Switch TV.
Time to take a breather. Stay with us here on Breaking Today. Still more to come. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel Chacha and our sign language interpreter is Michael Maide. Moving on, a suspected drug addict driver disrupted a church service after attempting to stab a pastor with a knife in Makuyu, Murang'a County. The pastor has been advocating the fight against drug abuse and alcoholism among youths in the town. Ivy Kavai now reports.
Kiwa katika mahubiri kumekuwa na kijana ambaye ameingia kanisani, na aliingia kama mshirika kama ambaye mtu amekuja kuokoka, lakini mwishowe aliamuka na nia ya kunifahamia pale. Kwa bahati nzuri wazee wa kanisa wakanitetea, wakamshika na wakamnyang'anya kisu.
Kwanza alikuja akakaa kwa kiti akipimia, akiwa amepima mbele mahali palikuwa na vazi, njia ya kwenda mbele kwa pastor. Sasa kutoka hapo ndio akanjulikana, akaonekana na wazee wenye walikuwa nyuma ndio walimuona na wakamshika, hiyo kisu wakaichukua. Yeye wakati aliona kisu, mimi mwenyewe nikamwekelea kisu. Akaniambia hii kisu yangu imetoka wapi? Hata alikuwa na mbokola. Akaniuliza hii mbokola ni yangu? Nikamwambia hii ni yako. Hata alikuwa na tumbako. Sasa wakati alikuja kuuliza, alianza kusema hata apelekwa polisi. Polisi sio kubwa kuliko shetani, shetani ndio kubwa kuliko polisi. Sasa hiyo ndio akaanza kuongea hiyo mambo, na tukanjua sasa yeye ni shetani tu alikuwa amemtuma, na hiyo mambo serikali iangalie tu kuongea ukweli.
Well, the story was prepared by Ivy Kavai, I beg your pardon. She did not package it. Now, police officers have arrested 3 culprits nabbed via CCTV camera footage participating in a car burglary along Fidel Odinga Road in Nyali, sub-county in Mombasa. CCTV cameras exposed the 3 committing the crime and got away in another vehicle after breaking into a car parked by the road, making away with a valuable package. Fatma Ngwena with more details.
3 days after police started investigations about a car burglary activity along Fidel Odinga Road in Nyali constituency, 2 culprits, Boris Mutula Mulai and Owen Joseph alias Makaveli, have been arrested.
Pengine ufanyika, lakini ripoti zile zinafika hapa ni chache. Mara nyingi watu wanakuwa wazito kuja kuripoti.
The culprits are said to have stolen a valuable package from the car.
Kuna sehemu ambayo ukipitia kamera haimuliki upande huo. So zikiwa zitaenea, kamera zitatusaidia sana. Na in fact zimetusaidia sana katika barabara kubwa. Ukiangalia mbeleni uwizi wa magari vile ambavyo walikuwa inaibiwa, kwa sasa hatuna uwizi wa magari.
According to police officers, CCTV cameras have helped largely in dealing with theft cases all over, especially car burglaries in the region.
So sisi tunafuatilia katika uchunguzi ule ambao tutapata, na ripoti ile tutapata kutoka kwa IC3.
The culprits are expected to appear before the court tomorrow with robbery accusations at Texas car park. Fatma Ngwena, Switch TV.
Meanwhile, a suspect in Kajiado County has been arrested by detectives after he was caught in possession of assorted ornaments of ivory and sculptures of ivory valued at 10 million shillings. Nyakundi Kelvin now reports.
The assorted ivory-made ornaments, including earrings and bangles, were packaged in a maize flour bale as foodstuff and were being ferried using a motorcycle. KWS Director in charge of Kajiado, Lamont Lenguro, says the arrest signifies presence of a rampant black market involving elephant trophies in the county.
Tumekamata pikipiki moja ambaye anabeba pembe ya ndovu ambaye imeshongwa. Hii pembe ya ndovu imeshongwa the pieces ya kitu ya masikio, ya shingo, bankili ya mkono na hata mishipi, kila kitu ambaye binadamu nafaa.
Hii ni kama milioni 10.
According to the county criminal investigation officer Isaac Meme, who led the operations, the suspect had ferried the ivory from Nairobi to a client in Kajiado.
Vifaa ambavyo vimetengenezwa kutokana na pembe za ndovu na anakuanga anatumwa na watu ambao wako Nairobi na wao wakimtuma yeye analeta tu na anakutana na mteja yake ambaye anapeleka hizi vitu nchi za China, anapeleka Bangkok na Vietnam.
This comes just a week after 2 other suspects were arrested with ivory and 300 kilograms of wild meat, including snake meat, which is sold as fish fillet, was nabbed. The suspect, who is being held at Kajiado Police Station, will be arraigned at the Kajiado Law Courts tomorrow. Nyakundi Kelvin, Switch TV.
And now crossing borders, Iran has today called on the rest of the world to unite against the United States after Washington unilaterally declared UN sanctions against the Islamic Republic were back in force. Washington has said it will impose consequences on any country not complying with the sanctions, although the US is one of the nations, or rather of the only nations that believe they are in force.
The United States of America has declared that international sanctions on Iran that were lifted as part of a 2015 nuclear accord have been reimposed. The snapback of sanctions was triggered 30 days ago following the Security Council's vote not to extend the arms embargo on the Islamic Republic. Iran's Foreign Minister Saeed Khatibzadeh has however said that the sanctions were only in place in the imaginary world of the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
واقعا داره به مردم ایران سخت میگذره. اصلا حتی اگه این تحریمات چه تمدید بشه چه نشه چه برگرده چه برنگرده ما داریم واقعا تو اوج سختی داریم زندگی میکنیم. دارو پیدا نمیشه. تأثیری به حال ما نداره.
The international community, including the other 4 permanent Security Council members, insist the US no longer has the legal ability to force through any changes.
من خیلی الان دغدغه و نگرانی ندارم که حالا کدومش، یعنی اخبار رو پیگیری کنم بگم که الان چه اتفاقی داره میفته و پیگیر این قضیه نیستم. چون یه تجربه بسیار بسیار سختی گذروندیم و الان هم داریم میگذرونیم دیگه، بعد که بدتر نداریم.
France, Germany and the UK have already sent a letter to the Security Council challenging the US right to reimpose sanctions in the name of the UN.